It's just Stats, Reggie Johnson, Eugene Moore, coming to you from the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia, and Eugene. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen here, draft-wise here. And
Yeah.
we're going to get the elephant out of the room. We're going to go over kind of quickly through the draft and draft grades, 30 teams. We can only spend so much time on those. But we'll run through those. But first, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, right? We got to talk about the slide from hell. Like I'm not sure what happened here because this to me made no sense, especially once you get past like the third roundish, right? Okay, like you've learned your lesson past round 1 and 2. Now you're in a round 3 and you're like other guys are going before you. Looks really crazy. Friend reminds me of this video. We're gonna play this video real quick. This looks like Cam Ward here, and I don't know exactly where this is at. We'll play this video, and then we're kind of talk about Shadeur on the back end there.
Consistency, that's where you at. 5 with a hitch. So after
they gave you
left.
They gave you a completion percentage award, and all you did was throw check downs and bubble screens. That's actually crazy. If I did that, my completion percentage would be 90. I throw the ball downfield, you don't.
You ran the ball. You had a run game. You had a run game. You had a run game.
And you did it?
No.
You was told that thing versus North Dakota
Think about
State.
total rushing yards.
It don't matter. That ain't my fault. I hope you're not getting no water. We just had the first drill. Oh, that's how you feel? You get water, we ain't even done with the first drill.
Let's go.
That's how it is in Colorado, though.
Inside the numbers, top
That's what it's like for a 9-win man.
Come down.
Oh man, you know what's crazy? What's crazy about the 9-win? The 9-win. Oh, I mean, what's crazy is, I think that he's not that bad. I mean, I didn't think he was trash. I didn't think he was gonna drop to the 5th round. I didn't think that he was this bad. I mean, I am absolutely shocked there. Cleveland, I guess, did kind of get the quarterback. He did end up with the. You know what's crazy is him ending up with the team that you thought he would end up with.
Right.
Just way later than you thought he would get there. He's where I thought he would be. But man, I didn't think that this is the route that he was going to take to get there, man. And I also thought he might be there with Travis Hunter, man. It's crazy how things kind of turned out here. The Jacksonville trade, and we'll talk about that. But what were your initial thoughts here on the Shadeur side? And I know when you're watching this, the same way I'm watching this, you got to be thinking he's going to be at least be going the second day, right? When he slides out of that first day.
Yeah, especially when the Cleveland had those 2 high picks in the second round. Like, you didn't have to take that. You didn't have to take him that first pick, overall, that second pick of the second round. But they wanted to ride it like they had 2 picks later. It's like, and I don't know. I mean, I think obviously it fell combination things, right? From just everything I've been hearing, it sounds like from the Deion Sanders, obviously that overshadowing, them not getting an agent, and and just the whole noise. I think football teams, coaches, general managers, they don't. If you're not superstar, or you're not gonna, they're not gonna put up with this package, And that's and I heard the whole Tim Tebow comparison. Obviously Tim was like one of the first, he went in the first round, but then after that, it's like he had like that. Remember, he had that short stop in New England, and and was like the first press conferences Bill had was like they're asking about Tim Tebow. It was like, dude's gonna be like maybe a backup, maybe the 3rd string backup, and like he cut him. He's like, I don't really want to deal with this. So I don't know. From the games I watched, the guy he never had an offensive line. He never had a running game. He's tough as nails. I mean, if someone said he could be a better Andy Dalton and kind of in between that Kirk Cousins, I think that's where he's going to wind up in his career. I think he's going to be a decent, NFL quarterback. And I don't understand why he fell, because he just has that skill. He has that, he will sit in the pocket and take a hit. You and I have watched enough of that this past couple of years. The guy's tough. I mean, I know he didn't do it right, and maybe this will humble him going in the 5th round. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know some of the interviews weren't the best. I know he showed up some of the side things and didn't participate, and that hurt him a lot. So, but again, he could rewrite this whole thing next couple of years, because he's gonna be on the Cleveland bench. Between Kenny Pickett and who else their quarterback? I mean, it's like
they got Dylan Gabriel,
I know
Joe Flacco.
That's the name I can remember. It's like Right. So you gotta
It'll probably be
see.
Flacco's job out the gate, right? I mean, if you're looking at all those guys, if you got to assume it'll be somebody's job out the gate, it's Flacco, then maybe Shadeur. Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett's probably odd man out, or Dylan Gabriel,
Yeah.
one of those guys, odd man out.
Yeah.
If they carry 3, if they carry 2, to be, in my opinion, Shadeur and Flacco.
Yeah,
But
and they'll probably carry 3. I think they would. I think he'll be number 3 probably coming out, and then because Flacco's not going to be here in the whole season. But I don't know. I understand why he kind of fell. I understand the noise behind it. I just don't understand the fit. I didn't when Dylan went before him. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way he's not better than him. There's no way.
I didn't see it, but I didn't see that Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, all those guys who went,
Right.
those were all considered to be a tier below. Those were all considered to be guys that were considered to be a tier below where Shadeur was. And it's fascinating to see this happen, It's fascinating. And to piggyback off of some of what you said, that is some of what we heard, right? Dion doesn't necessarily help because people are like, well, do we really want to bring a guy in that his pops could get online and start crapping on us if we doesn't like what the moves we're making, and saying that you're kind of like negotiating where he's going to go pre-draft, all that stuff kind of rubs people the wrong way, and people feel like you're kind of a diva and haven't really earned that,
Yeah.
I think that he'll have an opportunity to change the narrative, but I think the soul searching is in order as well. And he's already said himself, there's some things he could have done better. I think when you are that arrogant, or maybe not, I wouldn't say that arrogant. You're just drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, you're being told you're that good. Your numbers being retired. Things are happening. He's not just like imagining it. So things are happening. But at the same time, in the NFL, it just doesn't need you. The NFL does not need you. If out of all the leagues on earth, one of the only league that does not need you around is the NFL. It doesn't need anybody around.
No.
So they just snubbed you. That's what it looked like to me. They were like, well, if you got, we don't want to hand the keys to the car over to this guy. And he comes in all arrogant, all brash, like he's providing us with otherworldly talent, which they don't. Maybe if they felt like he was like an Andrew Luck type talent, even Caleb Williams talent or something like that, where you're the preeminent favorite to be drafted 1 for like years. Like, those guys usually are favored to be drafted 1 for multiple years. That was not really the case with Shadeur. Look, congratulations to Cam. Cam played his way up into that number 1 spot. People aren't really looking at him like that. So that's a testament to Cam, and a testament, I think, more so to how Shadeur interviewed than his actual abilities. I'm not saying that he's going to be great at the next level. And we'll talk about this again when we talk about the Steelers. But I think his talent is worthy of taking a flyer on him.
Yes.
As worthy as taking a flyer on him as any of these other guys. And that's my only thought.
Right.
Like, what I saw, he's at least a prospect. These guys are all called prospects. You don't ever know with any of these guys what you're going to get. I thought he was at least worth that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially when we get to your dumb team. I don't know what they were doing. We'll get to your team, but why?
Yeah,
he's
man.
right there. Just take him.
He's
Right
right
there.
He was right there. Yes, multiple times too. I mean, for
Multiple,
seemingly
yeah.
multiple times he was right there. I do not understand it. We'll get to that. I don't understand it to save my life, like, because it's the most important position. I get you don't like the guy, but I also think that the kid's young. You could have taken a humbled player in the 3rd or 4th round, a guy that thought he was going in the 1st. You could have took a humbled Shadeur in the 3rd or 4th, just as good as a humble Shadeur in the 5th. So why not take him there? You're not paying him as much money. You mean to tell me I could see? So if I'm looking at my Steelers, or the Falcons, we were never in the run for him. So if I'm going my Steelers here, because we were definitely in need of a quarterback, he was just as worth a flyer on him as any of the other guys we took late in the draft, in my opinion. If you want to say that, hey, we like Harmon better because we took the defensive lineman in the first. You want to say that we like Harmon better, so that's the direction we're going with. Okay, Steeler way. I love the Steelers. I'm cool with that. But then when you get to the 3rd, 4th round, we didn't have a 2nd round pick. We get to the 3rd or 4th round pick, and you're still not taking the guy. Now it just seems like we're getting a little cute because the acquisition cost versus what it would take to get rid of him. I mean, if he don't work out, he's a 3rd or 4th round pick. Get him out of here. Like, that's not cost prohibitive. Get him out of here if he doesn't work out. So that's kind of crazy to me. And Lord forbid, all the people that were drafted before Shadeur on all these teams, if Shadeur turns out to be decent, because if he's absolutely trash, it won't matter. But if he's even decent, you're going to have some of these people drafted that don't even make teams.
Right.
That were drafted
Yeah.
before him.
I mean, I'm not. And so what's going to be so funny if he beats out Dylan Brooks, and let's just say Kenny
Oh,
and
you mean
Gabriel
Dillon.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Gabriel.
Getting my team, getting my sports
I
mixed
was
up
gonna
here.
say, man, I think he can beat out Dylan Brooks. As a matter of fact,
Yeah, he probably could.
You know.
But I'm just saying that. So if he does, and then they end up cutting him, they're okay. You just cut your your third rounder. It's gonna be like worse.
It's gonna look silly. It's just gonna look silly,
Yeah,
right?
you're gonna look right.
Which you probably would, because at this point it's cheaper to keep her when it comes to Shadeur.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cheaper to keep him than it is to keep some of the other guys. So if not, you got that. You'd be on the team for that reason.
Yeah,
which is why
I don't know.
But still,
yeah, yeah, I'm still in shock. I mean, kudos for them for being able to trade back and get all those extra picks. But it's like, I just don't understand why are you using 2 of those picks on quarterbacks when you could have used 1 and got something of a better value in the third round, in my opinion.
100%. And with the other teams, you just better know what you're doing. Like, if you decide to keep passing on the guy, there's a couple things that needs to happen. For one, Shadeur can't be good. So that's rule number 1 of things that need to happen. He has to suck. Like, he cannot be good. Because if he comes out and he's good, now you got to look really stupid because this isn't a guy that came out of nowhere. Like, this isn't a guy that was off the radar, like, that was at some small school who didn't know who he was. So it's got to be like he was on the radar. He was right there. You just chose not to take him. So if he's end up being good, especially if he's model citizen somewhere, right? He goes somewhere, he's a great teammate, great citizen. There, he puts his head down, does his job, performs. You're gonna look like an idiot for not drafting him. So you have that. For 2, the second thing that happens, the person that you decided to take, or the person that you have in place when you decided not to take him, needs to be better than him. So Shadeur can't come out and have a better year than a person that you already have on your team there that may be lackluster. I think this is kind of the same situation you saw with Daniel Jones in the past years and stuff, where people felt like, oh, why are you still going with this guy? You might look around at some teams, see stuff like that. And you might look around and see some of the quarterbacks that have gone ahead of him in this draft and think the same thing. These guys better be better, right? They better come out and, you guys got cute here and decided to do things. Cam Ward, all right. Everybody felt Cam Ward was a cut above. So that's nothing happening there. But for some of these other guys that weren't projected to be, and the slide just happened seemingly in the last like 2 to 3 months, it is kind of like, I don't know. You better not. Shadeur better suck, and the guy you have better not be great, man. Or the guy you have better be good, I should say. The guy you have better be, better be at least good. You don't have to be, you don't have to be Joe Montana back there, but you at least need to have a serviceable player if Shadeur is, and you have to at least match Sanders' effort, right? If you have a guy and he's average, Sanders average, okay, maybe it's a wash. But I just feel like it's gonna be hard to reason with. Like, I'm not sure if a lot of the owners are involved in things like this, so they can make these decisions. But if they're not, and you're just a personnel guy making a decision, or you're a coach making a decision, you got to go to the owner with this, right? With why you made this decision, why this guy ended up being great. We all saw him be great. You chose not to do anything about it. It's something that you have to reason with later. But who knows? This is all a crapshoot. He's on the team now. He'll have an opportunity.
And that's the thing with, the one thing I remember, the one thing I knew about Cam has the arm. We know he has the arm. It's just sometimes his, doesn't have the great decision making, right? Or just kind of, Sanders he processes quicker. Like he processes like an NFL quarterback. Like, he's looking for, now again, he could be guilty as well as holding on the ball too long and just making the read.
I heard a lot of that, by the way. I hold on the ball too long situation. Heard a lot of that.
But he's holding the ball because he wants to get the best play, but for his receiver. So that's not a bad trait. You'd rather that guy versus guy just thrown into the traffic the whole time. So I'm with you there. I'm still, the guy's a quick processor. I know he did have some bad meetings. the Brian Dable meeting. I know he was supposed to like learn a play. They gave him a play to like learn it, kind of absorb it, kind of, and show us the next day. He failed at that. So there's multiple things, but it's like, gosh, if you just look at the talent, and I understand that there's a lot of noise behind it, but and you're right, there's probably a lot of owners like, don't draft this guy. We don't want to deal with all the noise, and then you have Dion. I mean, if he has if the one of those teams, if Flacco has a bad game or Pickett comes in and has a bad game, he's going to be on that microphone. He says he's not, but we all know Dion. He can't hold back, and that's going to be a lot for team has to absorb all that as well. Not only are you absorbing the questions from the media on your team, but now you're absorbing more questions like, "Oh, did you hear what Coach Prime said about you?" And then you have to deal with that, that's just more distractions that you're gonna have to deal with. So hopefully Dion will be a little more in his best behavior, but we know how Dion is. But I'm happy where he went. I think this is the perfect team for him because he has a good coach that has known for
and
building.
He's got an opportunity to start here, even if it's not immediate. There's an opportunity to compete for a starting job, I should say, because that's all I really want these guys. These guys need to go earn it. Like I don't feel really sorry for any of these guys. I don't even feel particularly sorry for Shadeur, to be honest with you. I feel like he made his bed, and you went out there, you turned people off. You got an opportunity though, as a lot of us do, to turn things around, and you got to make the most of it. You got to go out there and make them pay for not picking you, for passing up on you so many times. Channel that into good energy and go into that locker room and kind of get the locker room behind you, kind of dispel some of those pre-draft rumors and issues, concerns about you. And I think the sky's the limit at that point, but you got to go out there now. You got to go out there and play. And I don't really feel like he's got he was really victimized or anything like that. Like a lot of people do. You got a lot of people, Crimea River people out here. Oh my God, I can't believe he dropped. Well, this is what happens. So what happens when you go out in interviews and you think you've already got the job?
Yeah. You still kind of have to show up for a little bit of the interview. And
you got to at least act like you don't have it. You're going in telling people, demanding like you already got your name's on the bill, your name's on the door or something. So if you go in that kind of attitude, people are like, hey, bro, you got to come out here and do something first. So we'll see what happens, and he'll have an opportunity to get out there and do just that. Get into the rest of the draft here. I don't know if there's any surprises here. We'll kind of go also into the draft grades. We got our US Today draft grades. We'll kind of go back and forth between US Today draft grades. I got more NFL.com draft grades. And I have like this little aggregate draft grade situation too. That's very interesting. It's kind of like takes the draft grades added up from like 24 different sites like, NFL.com, Mel Kiper, CBS Sports, Bleacher Report, all that stuff.
Oh, I like that versus just one.
It's in like a spreadsheet form, man. I don't know if I'll really keep showing it on here, but I'll probably show it on here at some point. But it's in like a spreadsheet form. I might try to go back and forth between that, but it's kind of really it's on Reddit, really, really nicely done. So I might throw it up here just to do it, but it was very data looking, very spreadsheetish. So I'm not sure if I will, but we'll at least start with USA Today's draft grades up here. And let's start with the Eagles. With the B+ they gave the Eagles. Oh, I don't really know if there's anything. Those teams that are great, they just seem to always be great. They just seem to always be great, man. They just seem to always do well. The Eagles, I don't think that needed much, right? I'm looking over kind of what they did here.
No, I mean, what do you,
when you come off of winning the Super Bowl and you're able to keep your main players, that's kind of one of the main things. I feel like when you're a team like the Eagles, even though they do what Howie Roseman doing what he does very well, they do move in a very smart fashion. But it's kind of like when you're a Super Bowl team, you worry about players being poached off your team. So you try to kind of make sure things are kind of settled, at least with your main guys. And I think they settled that with Saquon, with the new Saquon contract. But Jalen had already been settled, right? We already had A.J. Brown settled. We had Devontae settled. You got some of those young guys on defense aren't up yet, but I think that they will get that done when it's time to do so. But B+ here for the Eagles. A B+ here for the Cowboys. Let's see. Let's at least see who these guys took.
Really, the Cowboys?
Round. Let's go look at the Cowboys.
They took an offensive
these are like aggregate grades too. By the way, these aren't like first round grades.
Okay.
So the grades that they're given are aggregate grades.
Yeah, they took Tyler Booker, and I think Tyler Booker, if I'm not mistaken, let me look. He was your overall. They said position rank was 2. I don't know, man. He was your 51 overall ranked. He's your 51 overall ranked player. They reached him. They pull it out, and now I know they want to run the ball, but there wasn't a lot of offensive, tackles that you could have just went after in this draft. Once you get past, this is kind of a reach. I mean, this is definitely a reach for them.
You said it's a reach.
Yeah. He was ranked 51 on draft. That's where he was ranked. So that's somewhere in the second round. He's at a second round grade. Yeah, and you're bringing him in the first round, number 12 pick. Now I know they need offensive guards to save, or offensive linemen to save their lives, but I don't know. That was kind of a reach.
Well, it's interesting because the Eagles went with a lot of defense. And listen, defense wins championships, so I can kind of understand why you would do so. And I don't think, looking at Dallas, I mean, a couple tackles, a tackle, a guard. They took a guard first round. A tackle round 6, edge rusher maybe in round 2. I don't know. I mean, nothing here to me screams it was terrible, but nothing really screams, like I said.
It's not terrible. That's just like there's just
doesn't really move the meters. I guess for me, guys, let me put some parameters here, I guess, on perspectives that I'm giving, at least for me. When I come out of the draft, sometimes you come out of the draft, you're like, hey man, that team really like did something. Like they came, like when you, no matter how you look at it, like Cleveland at least came out a different team, no matter how you look at it. Like whether you like how they got there or not, they're going to come out this draft looking like a team that could be very different than they were last year. And I think that that's what I'm looking for some of these players, and like a great guard's a great guard. And we're going to talk about this when I get to Pittsburgh too. It's great. A great tackle, a great guard, a great lineman. It's great. Is it changing fortunes for you though? If you weren't a playoff team last year, especially if the deficit was at the quarterback position, and you still maintain that same deficit, going round after round, or going into the season, then it's kind of like that guard, that tackle, that player may be great, but if you're not feeling like fortunes got really changed here, then what do we really do? You know what I mean? And to add to that too, it's also because any of these guys can be good. We could be talking about, just like we were talking about Dallas just now, we were talking about the number 12 pick that they had overall with Tyler Booker as a guard, but it could be the running back they took in round 7 and Phil Maffa from Clemson that ends up being the guy. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't really know who the guy is. So we're really looking for that spark today. Well, do we think really that this guy could be? That's why, you looked at some of those drafts of the past, and Andrew Lucks of the world, the Caleb Williams of the world, like people fight they change fortunes, even like the Travis Hunter in this particular draft instantaneously makes Jacksonville an entertaining team. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. But a lot of people like what Dallas did. That Dallas grade is not just a USA Today grade. I'm looking here at another grade that's an A+. Well,
it's just I like what they did after the first round.
A- grade to Dallas. So they gave him. Interesting. All right, let's go with the Giants here. The G-Man. I like what the Giants did personally. I like what the Giants did. I felt like
I love Abdul Carter.
I
love Abdul Carter.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there, right? Can't go wrong there. And the thing is, they had the same situation. They kind of had the pump fake where people felt like when they jumped back into the first round that it was going to be Shadeur time.
Yep.
They're like, hey, Shadeur time, here it is. They jump back in. They get your boy Jackson Dart from Mississippi. Interesting. If it pans out, it's going to be great for them. They took a defensive tackle, round 3, round 4, Cam Scatterboo, who I do like. I like Cam Scatterboo. So
I do like that pick.
If Cam works out, because they got Tyron Tracy there, and who did pretty good last year. I had him on my fantasy team. He was beasted for me. I think you Tracy and Scatterboo. If the kid Jackson Dart works out, okay, let's just play what if. All right. Say the kid Jackson Dart works out for them behind Russ. Let's say Russ plays for a year, but Jackson Dart works out for them long term. Abdul Carter works out. You got neighbors there, right? You're starting to get something, man. You're looking at it. I don't know. You might be looking
They're
at
gonna have
something
nasty,
here
and you know what
in
they
New
did
York.
too, right? Right after they drafted Abdul Carter, they picked up Thibodeau's 5th-year option. So that defense is going to be nasty for the next couple of years. They're going to be healthy next year, even if they're like, even if Jackson Dart or whatever that quarterback room is, their defense is going to be good. They're going to have a nasty defense and they have, like you said, they got Scatterboo. They had a good running team. My only issue with Dart is, was it a system? I don't
know,
he throws
Dart.
a nice ball.
I'm not even educated enough to speak on the kid that much. I didn't watch a lot of Ole Miss games, man. I'm not educated enough to really speak on him like that. I don't know how good or bad he is. You know what I mean? Like he just seemed. I just know that he wasn't as discussed in the guys that were the Cam Wards of the world. But I do know that at the same time, I remember that I did hear his name in maybe some fashions, just not discussed in the same sentences as them. Like, hey, it's between Cam and Dart, or you know what I mean? Like it seemed like a considerable drop off from at least media discussion between Cam Ward and Jackson Dart, but it wasn't like he came out of nowhere. It's interesting to see that they jumped back into the first round to get him.
Yeah, I mean that was the quarterback. I know they were projected to come back in the first round and get. I just it's great. He's gonna be working with Daboll, so that's a good. He's obviously worked with a lot of talented quarterbacks. Josh Allen being one of those guys, right? So, he throws a nice ball. It's just one of those things. It's like, is he a system guy? I mean, it was a lot of quick, get the ball out quick, and and we know you can do that for a little while, and we saw that a lot with Tua down in Miami. So I don't know. He does throw. He throws a nicer ball than Tua, but it's remained to be seen. But again, their defense can be nasty, and you have Scatterboo, which you Giants fan you're gonna see a lot of that kid's jersey when you turn on Sunday football and Sunday football, afternoon football.
Really, you feel like it's Scatterboo time in New
York
yeah already?
I mean, come on, that guy during the playoff. I mean, he was all over the place. Everyone was watching him. I mean, was it playoffs or the conference championships? I think it was conference championships, and that kid was everywhere. That guy, I mean, he was blowing up. I mean, there was so many clips from him. I mean, I think he went exactly where he's supposed to go. I don't think he was going to go any higher than where he was. But yeah, I think he's going to be one of those guys. Guys, he's going to be a New York guy. They're going to love him. He's going to be a work hard dude, pound the rock. I mean, he's going to be great. Oh wow, that is some deep stuff going on there.
Yeah, you see that?
We got a GPA grade going on.
Yeah,
wow,
man, we got GPA, the final GPA grades. We have the this is put together by looks like it's on Reddit. You can Google it here. Renee
love it.
Shout out to Renee posting this on Reddit.
For the rest of the year.
Reddit is absolutely amazing for stuff like this, for us nerds who like going through stuff like this. It is all here for us. If you're looking at some of the grades here, kind of going from the top, you see how you can see from the top. I can kind of go a little bit here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
You see at the top here, at the top, you got Mel Kiper's grade kind of coming down here, and then when you kind of scroll over to this side, you can see the GPA side here. Up here, the side, and kind of get a good feel for like what the aggregate. This is for all the stat nerds here, or number nerds who like stuff like this. But it is an interesting snapshot of the grades. And when you look in here at the grades, New England Patriots sitting here at the top, aggregate wise, nobody really getting a perfect grade. But if you're looking at from what the talking heads say, that this is who they feel that had some of the best drafts, you got the New England Patriots, the New York Giants. Let's go top 10 drafts. New England Patriots would be 1. New York Giants would be 2. Seattle Seahawks would be 3. Kansas City Chiefs before, Philadelphia Eagles, as we have talked about, who just do great things. Howie Roseman there, just a well-run organization. Number 5, Las Vegas Raiders. Number 6, Dallas Cowboys. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. Number 8, Cleveland Browns. Number 9, and Jacksonville Jaguars at number 10 as far as these draft rankings would go grade-wise. If we were to add all these grades up, well, none of them really getting an A, but we got really a high B for the New England Patriots.
Uh-huh.
And it looks like you got I would say for the Patriots, the Giants, and Seattle are all in like that high B range. You're kind of like mid B range for your Chiefs and your Eagles and your Raiders, and kind of low B range once you get down like Jacksonville, Cleveland, and Baltimore, like low B range. And some of these teams are I mean, Baltimore Ravens, come on, I mean, you expect them to be your well-run organization. Same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. Surprising to see like the New York Giants, though, look, and the New England Patriots making a return here to the top, at least from a draft standpoint. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out.
Well, they're smart, right? They went and got they need to protect their asset. They got an offensive tackle, and
took Will Campbell.
Yeah. I think he's going to be great. I loved his. I'm a sucker for when someone's going to cry on TV. I like it when big guys cry. So little emotion there. And he says he's going to give his heart and soul or whatever, his whole body to protect the QB. I like that stuff. So I'm a sucker for it. So yes, I think I like what they did, and I think they also got a speedster wide receiver, which they never had since Randy Moss in one of I think the second or third round. So they got a little speed demon for one of their wide receivers. So I'm very pleasantly happy with their draft.
Yeah, because
Seattle getting Gentry. I love Seattle getting Gentry
as well. Travion Henderson as the running back there as well. I'm not sure if they're looking to bolster that position up there, but they did take a running back there. That was actually their second round pick. So, solid for them. You know, if Drake May works out, you got a solid thing going there. I guess if you're New England, especially from a draft standpoint here. Who were you just talking about just now? Let me even pull them up. Who were you saying?
Oh, the Raiders. I like the Raiders getting Gentry. I thought that was a fantastic pick.
Ashton Genty.
Ashton Genty. Yeah. I think that kid is just amazing. I just think I think he's gonna be just a power runner there. And I think anybody could be what they've had in the past in that
3.44 for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Interesting because you needed some kind of spark there, right? I mean, end of the day, you got Geno Smith. You're at least making a run at it, right? You got Geno Smith. You got Brock Bowers last year, who was absolutely fascinating for you. Mm-hmm. So then you come around this time and you take that explosive skill position. And people always like, skill. We love skill positions. We love to see these skill positions get drafted, man. At all times. So we all love to see the skill position get drafted, especially if like it's a great skill position draft or player. And I like Genty. I think Genty showed himself as well last year in college football playoffs. So he did what he had to do and kind of put boys on the map there for a while. And this is a result of that top 10 pick, right? I have nothing bad, or I can't say anything bad about this pick whatsoever. Let's go on to
love everything about that one.
Let's go on and talk a little bit in the division here with the Panthers because they took McMillan. A lot of people loved him as a wide receiver. A lot of people were pretty high on him.
Just building around their franchise quarterback, giving that guy some weapons. I just think it's fine.
Is that a double down then? Are they doubling down on our boy Bryce? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, they should. I mean, he really turned around. They were a tough team to play at those last 68 games, man. They really turned around, and you could just see. And I hate it was against us. I didn't really care when it was against us because I think the Bucks had already won, so it didn't really matter who. I don't know if we were even in the conversation. I can't remember where we were in the playoffs when all happened. So I don't even think it even mattered when he beat us. but you could see the confidence where it's just back, that little spark that he's always had when he's at Alabama. You thought it was just taken out of him, but I love it, man. They've been putting a good offensive line around the guy, giving him some weapons. He's got a good running back now. He's got a good good receiver. I mean, I'm just stoked for the kid. I've always liked him, and always respected him, and always scared. I was always scared of him. I was happy to see him leave because I got tired of him beating us. So, but yeah, I'm just happy that they're double down, like you said, and building around the kid.
My mic was muted there. I was.
What
Really,
happened?
I gave my best 2 to 3 seconds, man. The best 2 to 3 seconds I would have had in this show just occurred, and nobody ever heard of what it would have been. I was giving my best takes right then. I'll try to start over here. When the Travis Hunter situation happened, I know that was the best or the first shocking situation. Maybe would be the second most shocking behind Shadeur. If the Shadeur slide didn't happen, probably would have been
right
one of the most shocking, or the most shocking versus just being kind of one of the most now. But at least it was the first shocking thing because it happened so early. The first thing that people are like, oh man, they're drafting out. What do you think about the Jags jumping up and the Browns kind of falling back here?
I mean, I do. I mean, it all hinges on, Lawrence, right? Is he ever going to take that step? Are we ever going to? Or is it just going to be kind of this medium to lower end quarterback? I mean,
they're paying him to take the step, man. They're paying him. So they're paying.
They're right. They're paying him to take the step, but is he going to take the step? They keep giving the guy weapons, and I just don't know if he's ever going to be able to use them or know how to use them. So, I do like him. I'm curious to see how they use him. I mean, he's gonna be in Jacksonville. It's hotter than Hades down there. It takes a minute for it to get cool. So I'll be interested to see how they use him. I know he wants to play a lot on defensive side. If it was me, I would personally play wide receiver, just after, especially after I saw that Chase Young contract. But it was definitely, he was definitely the one of the top players. It was between him, Gentry. I'm sorry, the New York pick. Why am I drawing blank now? New York Giants.
You mean Abdul Carter?
Abdul Carter, thank you. I can't get Gentry out of my mind. Yeah, Abdul Carter. So it's obviously Ward, Hunter, Carter. Those were your three kind of blue chip guys, right? So if you're gonna get a blue chip guy, I don't mind you. And then you kind of, I mean, they've got they got good talent in their running back. They got some good offensive players. It's just we gotta see. Is Lawrence gonna make that step? What do you think? I'm kind of sold my my stock on him a long time ago. I thought I held on too long and took a loss, but I don't know. I just don't. I think what we're seeing now is the quarterback. I don't think it gets any better.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I don't want to sell my stock on the guy because I'm, from one, a homer. He's a Georgia guy, and I don't want to, as far as where he's from. He went to Clemson, but as far as where he's from, he's a Georgia guy.
Gotcha.
So I claim any Georgia person. Like, I don't care where you go to school. If you were born, if you resided in Georgia,
I see what
at
you meant.
some point, I'm going to root for you whenever I see you out there in the wild.
Right.
So he's a player that I do root for success. It's been kind of a meh.
Yeah.
Meh situation. Yeah. The most meh getting this much money. It's a lot of meh getting a lot of money. But I do think they're better with him than without him. I don't know if I have to look into the particulars of the contract to see when they could move off of him, to see if that's something that's possible maybe in the next 2 to 3 years here. So you're not stuck trying to figure out if this is going to be your guy 5 years from down the line. You're still asking yourself the same question. Right. Maybe if you got to take the off ramp here in a couple of years or so, if not so bad for you, but I like the Travis Hunter situation in the sense that I think that you made an exciting move and a good move at the same time. And then think about what I was saying earlier in the show, where did you change your franchise in any way? And you draft a player like Travis Hunter. I not only think you changed it from a football perspective, but you also changed it from a popularity perspective. A high profile player, brings a lot of attention to your team, beloved guy. So he brings a lot of pizzazz to your team before he's even taken the first snap. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like your team kind of changed. Kind of like Deion Sanders back in the day. You draw a real parallel.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Deion was drafted, just Deion being drafted to your team was exciting. You know what I mean? It's exciting. Just Deion being drafted to your team. We'll always love him here in Atlanta forever. We're gonna love Deion forever here. But just Deion being drafted to your teams, it was exciting. And you have players in these other teams, they know it in these cities when they draft certain players, that as soon as that player's name is called, it brings a certain amount of excitement. So I think they changed their team in that sense, but the Trevor Lawrence situation is still very real. I don't think that this necessarily helps him in any shape, form, or fashion. I'm not sure if now Trevor Lawrence is figured out, but at least it's an exciting player you added to your team, you know?
Right. And maybe he needed a better. He's got a great head coach. Yeah, he's a fantastic offensive coordinator with Detroit. I mean, he unleashed some things we never thought we'd see with Goff. So maybe he can do the same magic he with Goff he could do with Trevor Lawrence. So it remains to be seen. But it's never a good thing to throw money at mediocrity and hope it turns into being like a super talent. So. I mean, we're not saying we're not super talented, but I just haven't seen what he did in college come to the pros. How magical he was at Clemson. You know, that's what's missing.
Well, let's look here. Let's look here at the. We'll go rapid fire down, so this show's not 3 hours. We're rocking down to Washington, and what is if you have something to say? Because if it's not something that you have to say, I'm not going to make you say something, or I'm not going to force it myself to speak on a team if I don't feel like things really have changed for them or fortunes have changed. But you let me know. Washington. What I love about Washington is really what they did last year, and just building on what they did last year. I think that it's just what a turnaround. You get Snyder out of there, right? Bring a new organization. You get our boy Dan Quinn in there. New offensive coordinator who kind of clicks with Jaden, and you're all kind of off to the races instantaneously, right? Like that's the crazy thing. Like Washington seemed like it went from overnight. They only had 5 draft picks this year, and that B grade kind of sticks. I guess there's a few people came kind of saying it's about the same grade. It took a tackle first round. They got a wide receiver in round 4, cornerback in Trey Amos from Mississippi. I don't see anything. I don't know. Nothing's really.
No, you just need to protect your asset.
And they got a Debo free Samuel in free agency, right?
Yeah. So again, you didn't have to add too much. Like you said, I think adding offensive line, you definitely want to do that you want to protect your asset. So I think it's good. Nothing wrong with that.
Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings. C grade for them, which is pretty much just average, I guess. Anything to speak on with them per se?
No. I don't. Again, I think they did the same thing that Washington did. They already have weapons. They have weapons on the offensive side. They need to protect your rookie quarterback. Because
Donovan Jackson. So they took guard the first round. They had 5 picks here as well.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them taking that pick.
Yeah, they took a wide receiver second round. So they went offense, and D-line in the third. A B grade on NFL.com. I'm looking at their NFL.com breakdowns, kind of comparing the two. Nothing really to see here. I guess only because you got to see what the J.J. McCarthy situation is. Like until that's figured out, until that you sorted, what's really going on in Minnesota, right? That's the great thing about the NFL. If the quarterback position is not sorted, the team's not sorted. I mean, it's. I'm not saying if the quarterback position is sorted, the team is, but you at least need that. Like you at least need that to happen. If that's not happening, there's a serious ceiling on your team in today's NFL. Chicago with a B- grade here from USA Today. What are your thoughts on Chicago?
Oh, I love Costin Loveland. They took in. I love that guy. I think it's a good pick for them. So they needed a tight end. They've built that offensive line. I just like what Chicago's been doing. It's like we're gonna build around their young quarterback. They've got a good offensive line. They've got
Yeah,
having some
they're
weapons.
giving them. I mean, they went off.
They're
And
giving
they
them
went
like, here you go.
a
Now we're
tight
gonna
end
give
and
you
a wide receiver.
we'll give you a tight end, and we know we
missed.
missed right. Yeah, so you gotta love it. I mean, I like what they're. It's one of those things what Chicago's been doing the last 2 years, building this team out. It's you love it on paper, but man, it better look good on the field at some point, or you really just wasted everyone's time.
Yeah, and you could tell this is the Caleb Williams story here, right? Because when you look at what they did last year in drafting Adunzie, right, getting him some support instantaneously, and then they backed it up this year with Colston Loveland. Then they backed it up again with Luther Burden, the third out of Missouri, wide receiver. Then they backed it up again with a tackle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like here, hey man, I mean, we're pushing our chips into the Caleb Williams center of the table here. If things don't work out, you can't say that they didn't at least give the support.
Exactly. It's like, dude, we're giving you everything. We've given you all the pieces here.
All right, let's move on to Detroit. B for Detroit. I love what they've been doing here. And that's kind of what that checks kind of what NFL.com to as well as far as that B is concerned. They went D tackle. They went with guard, wide receiver, guard. They had quite a few picks here. It looks like that about 7 picks. So I don't see anything that I necessarily feel is going to make them better because for one, they're already a good team. It's these good teams, sometimes they get incrementally better, and that's just enough to get them over the hump. But until you kind of get Hutchinson back, I think Hutchinson was on that injury. Questions like that kind of loom larger than people's draft positions, if that makes sense, or draft picks or who they drafted. If can you get Hutchinson back? When are you going to get him back? And then you just look at some of the things that they've done. I'm not really familiar with all these guys, so I guess I'll have to see it on the field.
Yeah. And I got to correct myself. It's Jacksonville that got the coordinator from Tampa Bay. It's Chicago that got Detroit's coordinator. So I got my coordinators mixed up. But again, even with the coordinator from Tampa Bay, he did a great job with Baker. So maybe he can do the same with Lawrence down in Jacksonville. Let's
move on to Green Bay. B+ for Green Bay here on USA Today. On NFL Network, they gave them A-. So they're not super far off there. Matthew Golden. A lot of people like him, man. Wide receiver from Texas.
Oh,
no, we know we love the wide receivers, man. And they're going in on Jordan Love. What were you saying? Sorry, what were you saying?
Sorry, he ran a 4.3 in the 40. Dude's fast.
They love to see stuff like that, man. Teams love that stuff like that. You were drafted as soon as that 40 was done. You were drafted, man.
Yep.
That was it. What's hilarious about that is looking here at the draft that Green Bay, they're going in on their guy Jordan Love. They went Matthew Golden. They went with a tackle on Anthony Belton from the NC State. They also went with Savion Williams from TCU, the wide receiver. So that's round 1, 2, 3 addressing needs there on the offense. We're kind of saying to our guy Jordan Love, hey, we believe in you. Gonna help you out here a little bit. What do you think about that?
I like it. And plus, they're still one of the youngest teams in the NFL. So their defense is still young. Their offense is still young. I still think they might be a year away. And I'm still kind of waiting for – I like Jordan Love, but I'm still kind of in that when is we going to see?
They gave him some money, man.
They did, and I like it.
Yeah, I got to look at the contract. I got to look at the details to see how long the money is, but I know they've at least given him some.
Yeah. So I think – it's one of those things. I do like him. I think I'll be really upset if he becomes like this superstar NFL quarterback. Like the Packers seem to fall into that every decade. It feels like they got Brett, they had Aaron, and now they have Jordan Love. Just really turns it up, and I'm going to be really really bad.
I'm nothing to see here, kind of with that. Same situation. I think that you looked at some of their wide receivers and injury issues even Jordan Love himself had. Mm-hmm. These are more concerning. I like the picks. I like the picks for sure. But we'll have to see them all on the field and how that all shapes out. And I do like Jordan Love. I can't say that I love Jordan Love, but I
Right.
definitely like
That's
him.
I
You know
do
what I mean?
like him. I do like him.
Moving on to Carolina here with a C pick from USA today, which I wish they had C picks everywhere as they're in my division with my beloved
Right?
Falcons.
I
They
don't
had
like
C
thinking
picks
anyone get high
everywhere,
picks to us.
wanting F picks.
Yep.
But B minus a little bit better on the on NFL Network, but not very like these. They're within like a point or two better. They're not very much better.
Right.
They took Tech McMillan out of Arizona. Wide receiver, number 8 pick, popular guy. First receiver I want to say off the board, I think. Couple of edge rushers, one out of A&M, Texas, and one
Which
out of
they need.
Mississippi. Running back, Trevor Etienne. Look at your boy. Okay. 2 ETNs in the league now.
Don't fall in love. That's all I gotta say. It just that's all I'm saying. I was excited. I like him.
Wasn't the only 1 year at Georgia?
There's only 1 year, so I don't think we would have wanted him back after this past year. I mean, he's fine. He's fine. I think he's gonna be. He's a good backup behind their stud they have there now. So I'm not. It's not like he's taking anyone's job. He's a good backup. I think
He was not in trouble.
No, he is not in trouble. I promise you that.
Wow. All right, so the more of the same. I guess just supporting, like you said, supporting our boy Bryce here. It looks
it's
like
all supporting Bryce.
The Thielen. Is Adam Thielen coming back? You know what? Adam Thielen's been one of their best receivers, by the way. Like for people who may have not.
Right. That's why you had to add a receiver.
Adam Thielen has been very consistently been their best guy.
The guy's mid-30s. I think he's 34. He cannot be your number 1 guy. So you had to get somebody. Right.
Yeah, man. Let's go to the Bucks with that B grade. They also got your boy Shiloh Sanders, man. I think they took Shiloh Sanders onto the Bucks. I don't think they drafted him, but I think he's on there. But Tampa Bay with a B grade here. What's your thoughts on Tampa Bay?
Oh, they got a Buka from Ohio State. They've got it's like they just keep adding wide receivers. It's like, man, they've got all those wide receivers. They got so many talent. Yeah. Again, I don't want them being.
Chris Godwin coming back and all this. I guess
Godwin's going to be back.
The Godwin Evans show is going into what? How many seasons? Correct. It's going into a lot of seasons here, and at a certain point, they're going to be going. It's going to be a curtain call.
Is this like a movie you're like waiting for? It's like the end of like what was it? Lord of the Rings. It's like, is this the third ending of this movie? What's happening?
Man, you just know like the ending is
coming. Where are these guys going to retire?
At a certain point. So because even if it only takes one of them to leave for it really to come to an end, you know what I mean?
Right.
From what we've seen. So maybe they're just trying to prepare for that. And they're just like, hey man, we took Jalen McMillan.
Yep.
Last year on my fantasy team, by the way. He gave me some quality weeks. And here we go
Bucky.
now.
Bucky had some good yards for me for last year.
Man, I wish I picked up Bucky, man. He was great for them. So nice little young team. Baker's been doing good things for them as well. So I think and in our division, we got to admit, at least I will admit, as a realistic Falcons fan, that they are the team to beat. They win this division consistently.
They won the division.
Until we beat them consistently, like they've been winning the division consistently, they are the team to beat, and still are the team to beat. Now, to a team that I don't think is the team to beat is New Orleans Saints. They're also in my division as well. And I don't really see them as quite the team to beat.
No.
What are your thoughts on New Orleans? They gave them a B, though. That's like our whole division got to be. Spoiler alert. With the exception of Panthers.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand. Okay, they took it off as a tackle. Great. I understand you need to it's just one of those teams that's like it's like, why not tank? They should have been like in the Cleveland Brown position, right? Been in that position, traded out and got more picks. But they keep,
they had 9 picks, man.
Right. But I get it. But it's like, but even then, it's like you go offensive tackle, and I get it. And I do like the quarterback. I do like Shook they took, but I mean, didn't mean that to rhyme. But again, he falls under kind of you and I's red flag to back-to-back injuries. I mean, they weren't. At least they weren't muscle or tissue injury or anything like that.
Yeah, isn't he older too? I got to look at his
He is
age.
older.
'Cause
He's
I think
25.
I want to say,
24,
dude's
25,
like on that older side there. Yeah, I got to look at that and see. Okay.
But again, he's your prototypical guy, right? He's got the size. He can throw the ball. Has broken some bones. Hasn't, I think the last 2 seasons he hasn't finished because he's been injured. I don't know. I like it. I mean, I know their quarterback is their question. We don't know what's going on with Carr, Ritter. Was it whoever? Was it Ritter? Or what?
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler. Thank you. I can't even get names right anymore.
Who I was kind of high on here last year.
I was high on him too.
I didn't think he sucked, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, jury's not out. Jury's still out, but you definitely can easily lose his job to Tyler, who's drafted higher than Rattler was.
Right. So I don't know. It's just one of those teams. I look at what they're doing. I just don't see a pattern. Sometimes I just don't see the pattern with them.
Well, B- from the NFL Network for them. Let's go to our beloved Falcons here with a B grade here. I really like what we did because of just addressing what we felt was a glaring need here in the city. And I think from talking to people around the city, one of the things I can say is that people are just happy for that same reason. I talked to a lot of people. They're just happy. Like, hey, well, at least we did something. Like we saw that a defense was an issue for us. And we decided that, hey, we're going to go after it. We're going to attack it.
Yeah.
We only had 5 picks. So we were like, hey, all 5 or 4 out of the 5. So you could say 80% of our picks were defense. We took 2 edge rushers in the first round, a safety in the third, another safety in the fourth, and took an offensive tackle in the 7th. So, I mean, on NFL, B there. So very, very close once again.
Yeah.
I think that when I see a lot of draft analysis about my beloved team here, one of the biggest issues I see is people thinking that we gave up too much to jump back in to draft Pierce. I can see that. Actually, I can see that logic or that argument from them. I do think, though, if it works out, if Pierce ends up being a great player, it will work out and it won't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had no issues with it. I mean, it's just, I know the thing is, I understand this draft it had talent across the board with defensive guys, but I liked who we got. I like Pierce. I'm sorry. I'm an SEC guy. I watch these guys every week. I know this guy. I know how he plays. I want him on our team. I'm okay. And I'm okay trading up, getting a guy I know that I've watched play that is good. So I'm excited that we traded back in, and I'm okay. I'd rather listen. Our defense we couldn't sack the quarterback, and I think we were 29th in passing defense. So we addressed everything we needed to address. We needed to address the line. We did it, and we addressed our backfield. So I'm okay with it.
Let's go into the NFC West here with the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals B- on the USA Today grades, but on NFL they gave them A- here. The Cardinals weren't playing around; they went all defense. So the Cardinals did this pretty much same thing the Falcons did, except they had more picks to do so. So they had all 7 of their picks. They had a pick in each round, which seems less rare these days. But they had a pick in each round, and all their picks. 6 of the 7 picks were defense. Right. They took a defensive tackle, and Walter Nolan in their first round, the cornerback, and Will Johnson in their second round, an edge rusher, a linebacker, another cornerback, an offensive guard, and then a safety. So they were addressing defense. I don't know if this is kind of like a situation where are you looking at what the Eagles did? And you're saying, and teams are saying to themselves, we're in a copycat league. Teams are saying to themselves, the defense just made Patrick Mahomes just looks like a mere mortal. So we need something like that on our team that can destabilize this quarterback position that has been so dominant. So now we move back into this defense is dominating things, and maybe this is something that teams are looking at. I know in the Falcons sense, we just needed it. We just have been so horrible.
Oh God, it was
such
a glaring thing.
Like it's for such a long time. B- there for the Cardinals, A- on NFL Network. Los Angeles Rams, B. I like the Rams pretty much year in and year out, man. That's a well-ran organization to me. I don't really have anything. I don't really have anything bad to say about the Rams.
No,
They
I
went
think
with
it's
a couple of skill positions in their first few picks, and they had quite a few picks, man. They had quite a few picks. They had 9 picks in this draft as well. But they went with a running back and a wide receiver in their first couple of picks there. But their draft is kind of mixed. So they have a good mix of offensive, defensive players in their draft.
right, which they kind of need, right? They kind of need since they lost a
Oh,
lost one of the
wait,
receivers.
my bad.
What?
That's the Los Angeles Chargers. Los
The
Angeles Chargers I
Chargers.
just talked about.
Chargers, sorry.
My bad. Los Angeles Rams going to B plus, which I do still mean everything. The other stuff I can't say for the Chargers, like that they're well ran. I just trust them and all the other stuff. I can't say that for the Chargers. I will definitely keep that to the Rams. But the Rams did only have 6 picks. They didn't have 9 picks, and they when you do look at the draft, it's still kind of the same situation. It looks like they went skill position in tight end in their first pick there, but they went with a mix of defensive players and offensive players in their draft, and they got a B plus, so pretty close on NFL Network. San Francisco is interesting to me because of the future for them. Some teams, their storylines lie far out of the draft, man, and San Francisco is one of those teams where their storyline is far outside of the draft. Who are you going to pay Brock Purdy? What's going on with Christian McCaffrey? You got so many things going on with this team, and they had a bevy of picks, man. Now they had 11 picks in this draft. 11 and B plus for them.
That's just so frustrating. And then they what did they get? Who they get 11? Oh,
Michael Williams. Michael Williams from edge rusher.
Yeah. They got Michael Williams from at 11. They were Super Bowl like 2 years ago, and they're still getting a top defensive guy in the 2025 draft. You're killing me.
We're well-run organization here, man.
Yeah.
They took a quarterback in round 227 in Curtis Rourke. They're hoping that the luck strikes twice. The iron strikes hot again there. They got to figure out their Brock Purdy situation is really the situation there, right? Let's be honest. When are we going to see that contract come down? When are we going to see the contract for Brock come down? And that's going to answer a lot of questions. But 11 picks is quite a bit. I don't know if any of these names, when you got bringing in this many guys, I'm not sure if any of these names really change fortunes for you or are a bigger deal than figuring out the Brock Purdy situation or figuring out Christian McCaffrey situation. You know, if you don't get those things are figured out, then I mean, these things seem to kind of pale in comparison. Seattle Seahawks B plus there. Anything for them? A- on the NFL Network.
Yeah,
they had a bunch of picks too, man. They took about 11 picks with an offensive guard. You know, these
which they need
offensive line positions, man. They were like, we have to definitely get that taken care of, especially now they got your boy Sam Darnold back there, right?
They need, you've got to give Sam more time. You don't have a mobile guy back there this year. You got to get some more time for your dude back there.
They took a lot of Jalen Monroe in round number 3. So that's, it's interesting to see if that's like is that quarterback in waiting right there with your boy Jalen?
Well, it's a project. I think it's a perfect time. Right. He's not gonna, Sam's on that short contract, and you see what you got because listen. The guy can run. The guy's got an arm. It's just decision making with him, right? That's the only thing. It's been the issue. It's like he's had halves he had one of the best halves against Georgia. And the second half, he almost blew it. So, don't even get me started in the Mizzou game. Oh, he looked horrible in that game. He'll have stinkers like that. So, but again, this is perfect opportunity for him to go and sit and learn. And I love the guy's spirit. I love the way he plays. You just have to wait and see in a couple of years if he's going to blossom or is he just going to be back up.
No, it's interesting here as we go into the AFC situation. I kind of feel the same way about the Buffalo Bills. They're just so good in and year out that unless they just do something disastrous, Buffalo Bills are kind of like Baltimore. We could kind of just wrap those up very quickly.
Yeah,
In a
both
sense
of them.
of, I don't think that these teams are going to suck. Like no matter what happens to these drafts, like unless Lamar Jackson falls off the face of the earth, Josh Allen falls off the face of the earth, they always find ways to win games. Now there are problems. The biggest problems are going to be in the playoffs. Like when they get to the playoffs, what's going to happen there? And that's kind of like been the Achilles heels for both of these teams. But no matter what's happening, whether I'm looking here at Buffalo B+ on NFL Network, and they did take a cornerback. They went mostly looks like defense with their draft because they had about 9 picks here as well. So they got a bevy of players, but teams like Baltimore and Buffalo, I just expect to be good. I don't know if I'm just being presumptuous here, but they're well-ran organizations. A grade A for Baltimore on the draft, and they had a ton of picks. Looks like about 11 picks for them as well, and they went with a lot of defensive players, a couple of wide receivers in here, and the linemen are just very, very popular. Often everybody taking a guard or a tackle here and there. Seems to be a deep draft for that. But these are just well-run organizations, so nothing to see here for either one of those teams. I still think those teams are going to be good. Miami at C-. What do you think there? I mean, is it just pretty much seeing what's up with Tua? If Tua stays upright, they're okay. They seem to have taken a decent step back last year.
They took a step back, but I mean, they've got, I think, another shocker, another good defensive tackle just sitting there at 13.
Kenneth
right?
Grant.
So I mean,
13.
I mean, they took which again they couldn't stop a water running through that line last year. So hopefully that shores up their defense. I don't know.
Took your boy Quinn Ewers. He's out there.
Yeah, that's right. Quinn Ewers. I like Quinn Ewers. Dude should have went back, man. Should have went back to that transfer portal, made more money, but that's another story for another day. I don't know. It's like one of those. It's like they remind me of the Saints. I don't know. They have better weapons. That's they just look better on the offensive side. So I don't know. Well, it's a wait and see with me and that team.
Everybody loves New England's draft. Everybody loves it. I don't know if there's really much to discuss there either. I think we touched on it a little bit earlier because just due to how much people really like what they did, they had a bevy of picks as well. I think they had about 11 picks. And of course, they jump-started everything with Will Campbell. And when you're looking, it's interesting because sometimes it's hard to get everybody to agree on the same thing. And when you get a lot of talking heads, especially these guys, they really feel like they kind of have a good feel for everything and they kind of know everything. And it's interesting to see a lot of these talking heads, no matter what program or organization that they came from, all be pretty impressed with the Patriots draft here. Because it's interesting because it's an A here. It's a B+ on NFL Network. It was one of the highest grade even on that other graphic we were showing. So it's interesting. Maybe it's the Will Campbell pick, or maybe it's just what they did overall. Feeling like maybe they just made their team better. They drafted a lot of different positions here, pretty much remaking their team. I mean, if most of these guys make it, you drafted a whole different team on the same timeline. You know what I mean? Also, so you drafted a whole different team on the same timeline. If all these guys make it, any thoughts here on any more thoughts? Like I don't know, we talked about New England, but you have any more thoughts on New England? I can't hear you. You're probably on mute there, like I was earlier.
Did that? No, I'm still kind of where I like their offensive tackle. They addressed every need. Got a backup running back to go with Stevenson up there. So, I mean, I think and they got speed. They got speed wide receiver. Again, I'm repeating the same thing I said before. I think they did great in the draft.
Would you write New York Jets? Look at them with the A- there. What are your thoughts on what the Jets? Your boy Aaron Glenn starting things off right. They took
good.
Amon Nimbu, offensive tackle. This is an offensive tackle draft. They had about 7 picks to really make a difference here. They went offense first couple of rounds. Then went with a cornerback. It's interesting because the New York Jets are really going to go as Justin Fields goes, right? Like I like Garrett Wilson there. Garrett Wilson's a stud there. Brees Hall's a stud there. The defense is already pretty good. I think they took a step back when Salo left, but we'll see if that kind of reverses itself now that Aaron Glenn is there. Defensive coordinator pedigree himself, and maybe if Fields is able to step in and be that guy, because you were hoping that Aaron Rodgers, because remember, a lot of people were hoping that that's what was going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. Like, this is a ready-made team. Aaron steps in there and they're winning games, and it just didn't happen like that. If Justin Fields steps in there and they're winning games, this is a whole different situation, and I guess this is an attempt to keep him upright with their first selection, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. They went and said, "Hey, we've got to protect our guy," and it's again. I don't know. I'm still kind of I like. Of course, I love my Georgia guy. I love, like you said, I will still claim him as Georgia. I know went to Ohio State, but he is from Georgia. But I don't know. I'm still kind of. I mean, I love the picks. I like what they're building. I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence with Justin. Again, I know they're not. It's not like they gave a lot of money to him, so he was almost a 1-year deal. So it's not like end of the world if he doesn't work out. But I don't know. I'm just not. I think I saw enough last year with him to go. I think we know what he is at this point. Now, I could be wrong, but we've been waiting. I've been waiting for him to prove me wrong for a number of years now, and he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah. I'm waiting to and hoping this is what happens this year. Hoping Fields comes out. I don't know if this is the best situation for him. I'm just glad he gets a situation, another chance to take that step and show what he can do. Not really ready to sell my stock all the way, but I'm halfway there.
Yeah,
halfway there on the sell button. Cincinnati, a team here that, in my opinion, kind of goes the way that Joe Burrow goes. If Joe Burrow is healthy. And it was one of the most talented teams not to make the playoffs last year, but Pittsburgh was on a tear. You happen to be in division with Pittsburgh. You happen to be in a division with Baltimore.
Yeah,
these got to kind of go perfect, and I think they made their run towards the end of the year. But they 6 picks, 3 defense, 3 offense. They started with an edge rusher with Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. B- here and a C there. So. I don't know if people really feel that their fortunes were changed there. The USA Today definitely doesn't feel like it was. But I think that they are a pretty good team, though. Luckily for them. You don't really have to change your fortunes dramatically when you got Joe Burrow.
No, you really just got to get more, maybe shore up your running back. Kind of get that a little more set. But, I mean, you've got your offense is fine. Like you said, as long as your 2 receivers, Joe Burrow's healthy, it's your defensive side that you're always going to have to – you're just got to be creative because you've given so much money to that offensive side of the ball. So you've got to find them creative ways to either bring guys on 1-year contracts, pay out some of that money and bonuses versus contract money, and that you can rework. And we all know salary cap's going to go up, so they'll be able to do all those things. But yeah, it's going to be just the defensive side of the ball. I mean, are they going to have to go out there and score 40 points every night to win because defense can't stop anybody like they did last year? It remains to be seen.
We are with Cleveland, who they gave an incomplete grade here too, which is very funny. This is the only I see. USA Today, I guess, feels like Cleveland is grade is incomplete. Yeah, NFL Network B+. They had 7 picks through rounds 1 through 5. Shadeur is funny. Fun fact: Shadeur was actually their last pick of the draft in round 5 at number 144, and that was it took in round 3 Dillon Gabriel, that's the funny part. I guess we'll see how that all works out. But Mason Graham as a defensive tackle in the first round there. I mean, okay, it's not. I mean, I don't see Nick. I like Quinshon Judkins from Ohio State, running back from Ohio State. I mean, okay, all right. The Shadeur Sanders story is a story here in Cleveland, right? I mean,
that's the story.
Good, but the story is Shadeur Sanders, and we want to see if this is he really a 5th round quarterback, right? And that's really going to be what people want to see the entire time. That's what we're all waiting to see. That'll be the only reasons I watch a Cleveland game is to see if Shadeur Sanders is going to play. Shadeur Sanders plays, I'm going to watch and see. It's kind of when Johnny Manziel played back in the day, right? I don't know if he's going to be good at this level or not, but it's more interesting to watch Johnny Manziel playing than not watch him. And when he wasn't good, it was pretty interesting to watch that as well. So
right.
I guess we'll see what happens, but they don't hate them, you guys on NFL Network. B+ for my Steelers here. This is kind of like this where my incomplete would be for my beloved Steelers. I have an incomplete here because for us to continuously pass on Shadeur, maybe there needs to be something known here that I wasn't, but for us to continue, because they talked, I'll watch their post-draft press conference. And in that press conference, one of the things you can see Omar Khan and Tomlin saying over and over again was Steeler guys, right? Like we drafted a Steeler guys. And that's something that they reiterated a lot in that press conference, to the point where I felt like they felt that Shadeur Sanders was not a Steelers guy. Evidently, because you didn't draft him, you had so many opportunities to draft him, but you did kind of continuously try to nail that point home. A grade on NFL Network, which I hope it is definitely an A grade. But they took their defensive tackle, Derek Harmon. Okay. We just need a quarterback, guys. That's all I'm saying. I'm for all my Pittsburgh faithful. That's all I'm saying, guys. I'm not hating on any of these guys that we're taking. For the love of God, like the quarterback position just has to be addressed. Like this is something I actually had agreed with Ryan Clark on. I don't agree with everything he goes with. I agree with this though. And ex-Pittsburgh Steeler himself, I know he cares. It just needs to be addressed with somebody, even if it wasn't going to be Shadeur. Well, you see Jackson Dart, like take Jackson Dart if you like him. Like take somebody. That's kind of like what I was thinking at the point. Like I'm not even saying that I was so caping for Shadeur. I'm caping for a quarterback to be drafted. So it can be taken seriously. That position. I don't know if maybe they felt like Aaron Rodgers was definitively going to sign. So maybe you're like, oh, well, Aaron's coming, so it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm thinking.
So maybe that happens, and then if Aaron coming, it still won't be threatened by a Will Howard coming in the 6th round. So you can still kind of be like, hey, Will Howard here in the 6th round. And Will Howard came on at the end of the year last year for Ohio State. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping beyond hope that Will Howard can be something, man. I am hoping for it because at this point, I really just need something to shake in Pittsburgh. I need something to shake from the quarterback position. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's either they have the inside track. Well, they're the only track right now for Rodgers. They're the only track. So they have to know that he's going to sign with them, or their B plan would be Kirk Cousins. That's it. That's all you have left. That's all that's left. Because there's no way that's your quarterback room. There's just no way. I just cannot believe that's your
Mason
quarterback.
Rudolph. You're not interested in that stock.
He's a nice backup. Listen. I saw enough Mason.
Nice things for
started in Pittsburgh and Tennessee last year. I think we've seen enough. We know what we're getting. There's no more surprises, right? It's like he's the backup, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong. We all need good backups, and that's what he is. But this cannot be your quarterback room. Him and Will Howard, and that can't be your quarterback room.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm all right. My incomplete's there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping because I guess gotta put faith in the organization. It's a well-run organization, and that's one of the reasons they're one of my favorite teams. So I'm just gonna put faith in the organization, hope they know what they're doing here because it seems like playing with fire. But I'm hoping for good things I'm hoping Will Howard just comes out the top rope here or something, man. Just surprises us. It becomes.
He's not bad.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's terrible. He did. He's not a bum. I'm just hoping that he just goes to that next level, man. We just see like, hey, now he just becomes a guy. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm hoping for. I got a lot of hopium right now. Houston Texans. I love the Texans, man. I love Texans. The last few years, everything they've been doing there, man. I really liked. They had a ton of picks too, man. They had about 9 picks here.
Yeah,
for them. 9 picks. Not bad.
And didn't they go offensive tackle first round?
They went offensive tackle in the 2nd round. They did not have a first round pick.
That's right.
But they went in the 2nd round. They took offensive tackle and a wide receiver. So they went kind of offense in the first 3 rounds, or the first 3 picks, I should say. And the wide receiver, offensive tackle, wide receiver. quarterback in Graham Mertz from Florida. It's always interesting to see these quarterbacks go, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looks to be about half though. They took some, well, no, maybe more offense, slanted more offense because they took a cornerback, a safety, and a defensive tackle out of all the picks they had.
Okay.
So definitely slanted more offense for them. But this is not a team that needs a ton, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A- grade for them here on NFL and a B+ grade there. So pretty close. Indianapolis Colts really is the Anthony Richardson show there for me.
That's really it.
Because is he or isn't he? You know, that's really kind of like it. Like, you know, is he or
great
isn't he?
question.
If he is, you are in good shape. They took Tyler Warren out of Penn State. By the way, fun fact on Tyler Warren, he did get pranked as well during the draft. He just
that's
was
right.
not.
I heard that.
Yeah, he got pranked. I heard at pick 7. So it happens to everyone. I guess it just happened to Shadeur in front of everyone. But they had 8 picks here, decent amount. Going all the way from rounds 1 through 7. Looks to be about 50-50 on the offense to defense ratio. Took a linebacker, a defensive tackle, a cornerback, an edge rusher, but also took a tight end, an offensive tackle, running back, quarterback. So kind of a mix here, but the story, in my opinion, is Anthony Richardson. And if he's not great, I don't know what's going to change your fortunes, man.
Yeah,
you don't have Flacco there to save you this year, right? Like, who do you have there as a backup if Anthony Richardson doesn't work out? I don't know if you got a guy.
Yeah, I can't even tell you who the backup is, but it doesn't even matter. It's all on him. If he can't, it's gonna be bleak if he doesn't kind of turn around. But again, here's a tale of guys not staying in college for a little longer, getting a little more seasoned.
People fall in love, man, with
and I fell in love too,
man.
I did too. I'm guilty.
With how they look, with throwing it down the field, with the speed, and like, man, if we can just find a way to unlock this is a lottery ticket right there. That's what they call guys like this. Even with a Jalen Milroe, they call guys like that. These guys are lottery tickets. You can unlock them, then good things can happen. But it's a lottery ticket. You know what happens to lottery tickets? There's just a good chance you got nothing. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how that goes. Going to Jacksonville, A- on the NFL Network from Jacksonville, and a B+ here. And we all love the Travis Hunter pick, right? We all love it, especially when you're jumping up there to get a guy. We all like you. And it's funny because they had 9 picks with jumping to get the guy. They still had 9 picks in the draft. So that's nice. It looks like they went more defense in their draft. Offense and defense. If you got Travis Hunter, I guess you can count him as both positions. But you got cornerback in there is with their second pick. Third pick, they went with a guard, offensive guard. Another running back here. Pick 4, so a running back, then a couple of linebackers, a safety, a center, a running back. So mixed bag for them. But
right,
just like we've been saying, not to sound like a broken record as we go down these teams with questionable quarterback play, it's really the Trevor Lawrence question here is the question that will be kind of looming over.
It'll be the one. That's
standpoint, right?
Yep. That's the one hanging out there for you. That's it. It looks great on paper.
That guy. I hope he's that guy, man, because I mean, not gonna get a lot more time to prove that he is. I mean, he got this contract, and it's a nice sizable contract, so he's not gonna be poor. But I don't know if he's gonna continue to be an NFL quarterback for years and years and years to come, the way that I thought he would be initially. Right. Tennessee, Cam Ward, nothing to see here, right? Kind of heading down this last weekish, couple weeks, at least maybe even the last month or two of the draft.
Yeah, I think we all knew.
Their favorite, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much it. We kind of all knew where he was going.
Now, they had about 9 picks in this draft. NFL Network gave them an A. They got a B on there on USA Today. Nothing to see here, man. We'll see if Cam Ward's good. Yep. They got rid of Will Levis very, very quickly.
Yeah,
they wanted out of the Will Levis business pretty fast.
Again, guys, if you ever need us, we watch SEC quarterbacks every Sunday or Saturday. Give us a call. We will tell you we'll give you the rundown where we think they're at. I'm going to tell you about Will Levis when I watched him in Kentucky. I already knew.
Do you feel he's a backup? Is that what you're?
Oh,
is
yeah.
that where you're going here?
Yeah, I've always thought I always say he's a backup. He's too injury prone. His decision making, like he's your typical quarterback. Oh wow, he looked good in the combine. Oh look, he threw great in a pair of shorts. Guy, you fall in love with guy. He's the typical guy. It happens every year, and it's like we all do it. We all happens. He's that size. He's got the arm. He looks good. Looks quarterback. But man, he just doesn't. There's something always missing. One of those guys. They just can't. They just don't have it. He just doesn't. He never had the it. Like Lawrence had the it at Clemson. We saw it. We've seen it with him, but I've never saw it with Will.
Well, at least they had I would say a lot for a while. People thought that they may held on to Levis, and they knew the situation where they were like, well, it's a chance they may, but Cam, to his credit, played him his way into a number one position, and Tennessee, I guess, just sitting there and was like, you know what, man, we're not gonna, we can't run it back like this. Not when we got a guy here we can take another flyer on who's looking so much better than Team Ward. This is a guy that we should be, kind of hitching our star to more so than the guy we had. This appears what they'd be saying.
Absolutely. And I thought it was a cool moment that Warren Moon had kind of blessed the number one to him. I think that was so awesome, by the way.
Man, I heard the opposite on Lawrence Taylor, by the way. Like I heard Lawrence Taylor shut down the number request. And listen, I'm with LT there. It was LT said, listen, go to work, bro.
Yeah, get your own number.
And listen, I wouldn't mind Warren saying the same thing here to Cam. You haven't done anything, bro. I wouldn't mind Warren telling him, hey, man, go to work, kid. But it's a nice gesture. Nice draft for Tennessee from a review standpoint, and definitely a great day for Cam Ward. Going to the Broncos, who I really like. I think a smart run organization here as well. I generally like them throughout the years. What do you think here? They have a B plus for Broncos.
Like you said, it's a smart team. Smart. Well, they great coach. I mean, it's just year two of Bo Nix. We'll see.
Man, I liked Bo Nix, man. Like I had to say, man, I liked him coming into the year last year. I liked them coming into the year, and I bought my Bo Nix stock in preseason last year. And this is coming from an Alabama fan. It was very hard for me to do because he spent some time at Auburn, and it's hard for me to root for anybody spent even.
But come on, you destroyed him every year. It wasn't like it was like you were scared, like, "Ooh, Bo Nix is coming."
That's very true. And if he felt like an old guy to me coming into the league, but at the same time, preseason I was like, hey, I see something here. So I think it's just a continuation of that. They went with more. They went with a cornerback. Before backing that up with a running back, I think they took RJ Harvey from UCF. They had about 7 picks in this draft. A couple of edge rushers for them. A punter, okay, punter making an appearance here. They do get drafted as well. Punters and kickers do get drafted, and a tight end. So it looks like kind of a mixed bag for them from a defense and offense situation. It's not heavily slanted, but a little bit of an offensive slant there. Some things to help your boy Bo Nix out. What about your Kansas City? Anything changing hopes there? I mean, they're always respected for things they do on and off the field from an organizational standpoint. I don't think this is any different. B for them on USA Today. Let's pull up their picks. You like any of their picks or dislike
I like their
picks?
I like their offensive tackle pick. The only thing I think I heard
that was their first pick. That was Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. Yeah. That was actually their first pick.
The only thing is I heard as I was listening to his podcast, I didn't realize he had a torn patella, and I guess that it's it's a year. I mean, yes, he can come back and play, but to be fully up. Right, it's almost like a year healing. Like he could come back and play before that, but it's almost like when someone tears their ACL, it's almost like a full year before they get back to that full speed. But again,
and this is their first round pick, Josh Simmons, offensive tackle.
Yes,
Offensive tackle. But again, it's an offensive tackle. I mean, you're just getting for the future, and let's just face it, they're so smart when it comes to, but it's all about protecting Mahomes back there. So I think they're fine. I'm never going to be like, oh, the Chiefs, what are they doing? I'm like, okay, I just going to trust them until they won the Super Bowl.
They were literally in the Super Bowl just last year. So until I see a considerable fall off, they burned some benefit of the doubt here. A- grade on NFL Network, and a B here. A- here for the Raiders, man. Maybe that's Ashton Genty who we were talking about earlier. That's all their picks, man. They drafted a whole new team here, man. At 11 picks. Couple of offensive guys right out the gate there to help their boy Geno out. They went mostly offense here, man. As a matter of fact, they drafted a quarterback too as well. And Cam Miller ran round 6. It's interesting because these guys, as we talked, and let's just wrap up real quick because we'll just do the Chargers because we've already talked about the Chargers. I thought there was the Rams. Their 9 picks, and I do like what Harbaugh has done there. I think that at least with Harbaugh, the team has an identity, man. You know what I mean? At least it seems like it has an identity, and I think that happened pretty quickly for the team when Harbaugh got there. Nothing really to see here either with them. I mean, their wide receiver situation is kind of abysmal there. I really think it'd be nice if they can get that figured out. Like if they had like a Neighbors there or something like that. Because they got rid of Keenan Allen. I think they were hoping Josh Palmer was going to be it, right? It didn't really pan out for them. C+ here on the USA Today for the Chargers, but an A-. This is the biggest discrepancy I've seen so far between the 2 grades because they gave them a C+ here between any 2 grades. So they've been kind of close so far. But a C+ from USA Today, but an A- on the NFL Network. They took a Marion Hampton running back out of North Carolina, and then Trey Harris, wide receiver. It's just a position of need, man. They need address wide receiver position, in my opinion, and running back as well. You're absolutely right. But they just picked up was it Najee in free agency? So
I mean, and like you said, Harbaugh's putting a stamp. It's getting his guys. He's making sure it's not going to all fall on Herbert's shoulders. Like, look, we're going to get you some help, and they pretty much almost had the steal of the draft last year with Ladd McConkey. Like that guy came out of nowhere,
right? And speaking of which, Ladd strikes me as that guy who I don't know if Ladd could be your number 1, even though he definitely was last year. But I also felt like that was kind of the problem, was that Ladd was your number 1 last year.
No, he's kind of like he's a good.
But I feel like if he correct, like if you had a guy in front of, let's say that you had like let's just throw a Jamar Chase and Ladd out there, or JJ Justin Jefferson and Ladd out there. You got some damage being done here, man, because I feel like even with those guys, he's holding his own. He's giving you 1,000 yards. He's gonna get over 1,000, even if he was on a team with somebody like that. I'm pretty confident that he will hold his own and still go get 1,000 yards. It's just a matter of like, can he be the guy and get you over that hump? You know what I mean? They had a stellar defense last year. Carried them in a lot of games. It's just you're going to need to score. When you look at what happened here, the team that won the Super Bowl had AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley. They had they were lights out on defense.
Some guys.
But they had guys. You know what I mean? They had guys. So you're gonna need some guys you're gonna need to be able to kind of put that together on the offensive side of the ball. It's not really Harbaugh. Harbaugh's more of a ground and pound guy. I think that we don't really know Harbaugh to be like the air. He's not exactly Don Coryell out there. So we'll see what happens with them down the stretch. But just like we've said with a lot of other teams, and I don't really think Justin Herbert is a bad quarterback. So I'm not even gonna say it rests on Justin Herbert. It rests on who does Justin Herbert have to throw the ball to, in my opinion. Like who is surrounding the guy. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily remember him taking a lot of stats. Gonna go back and see if he did. I could look at the offensive line situation. Maybe that's a question, but I don't know. But I know the defense is good. Najee, I like Najee. It's just a matter of, can you get somebody there besides Ladd?
Yeah, That's your thing. Because
build
Ladd
them
was
like-
never like number one at Georgia. Like we always had Brock Bowers, so you always kind of have that number one there, and Ladd was just kind of in the just kind of in the weeds, which you kind of want him to be, kind of be in that slot.
Yes, yeah,
So you're
absolutely.
right. Yeah, and he's great. I think he's great in that role. But you're absolutely right. You got to have that number one guy for him to throw to, because you can't win. As we've seen in any Super Bowl, you got to at least have a guy or two guys. And look at every team that's won the Super Bowl. They've had that combination. Just of being able to win. So, but I still again, Harbaugh's still going to be. He's going to be in that kind of range of Tomlin. Give him plenty of toys. He's gonna. They might miss the match. He doesn't care. He's gonna put them together. He's gonna win 10 games every year.
This is Just the Stats. Check us out. Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you find us on the interwebs. See you next time.